For a century after the Sixth General Council, there was peace. Then in the first half of the 8th century, there arose a dispute in the church which eventually led to the calling of the Seventh General Council. The controversy was about the lawfulness of venerating holy images and relics of saints, and also about prayers to saints. This controversy is known as iconoclastic controversy. The leader of this movement was Emperor Leo III. Leo became emperor in the year 717 AD. 4 months after his coronation as emperor, the Muslims ships laid siege to the city of Constantinople, but Leo staffed the attackers to such an extent that most of the ships perished in the harbor of Constantinople. For the next 20 years, Leo had no fear of a Muslim attack. It was in this peaceful atmosphere that the controversy over the veneration of images began. In all the churches of the world and in the city of Constantinople, there were images, pictures, and statues. This represents Christ, his mother, saints, or great events that has happened in the church. Many of these works were a work of art made out of gold, silver, or ivory, and it was common that people prayed to Jesus or seek the intercession of Mary and of the saints. There were cases in which people claimed miracles from the veneration of icons and images, and these were held in high esteem. 3 bishops from Asia Minor, Constantine of Nicaea, Thomas of Cladopolis, and Theodore of Ephesus, saw idol worship in the veneration of images. These bishops asked the help of the emperor. Leo studied it and thought that the veneration of images was idolatry. The first thing he did was to remove the statue of Christ on the main gate of his palace. He then ordered the destruction of images, and some of his soldiers preferred to die than to desecrate holy images. The emperor wrote to Pope Gregory II seeking his ruling on images. Pope Gregory told him that there was a difference between the veneration of images and idolatry. The emperor was angry at the Pope's reply. He told him that he would depose him if he did not agree to the destruction of all images from the churches, but Pope Gregory stood his ground. On the 11th of February 731 AD, the Pope died. With this act, Leo passed an edict condemning the veneration of all images and proclaimed as enemies of the state those who venerate them. 9 years later, Leo died, and his son Constantine IV became emperor. He was worse than his father in this persecution. He called a meeting of all bishops to meet at Hieria, near Chalcedon. At this meeting, out of fear, the bishops signed a decree of the emperor which stated that those who venerated the images should be excommunicated. He also demanded all his subjects to take an oath never to venerate images. He forbade the veneration of relics and prayers to saints. Constantine died on the Feast of the Holy Cross in the year 775 AD, leaving his widow to rule as regent for his young son. Empress Irene was a Catholic who wanted to restore things to order. After the election and consecration of Tarasius, the empress wrote to the Pope informing him of her desire to call a general council to bring back the true faith. On October 29, 785 AD, Pope Adrian wrote to Irene. He agreed, but he put some conditions. First, the council has to condemn the meeting of Hieria in 753 AD. Second, the papal legates should be consulted in all deliberations, and their safe return should be promised. The empress accepted all the conditions and immediately ordered the preparations for the council. On the 24th of September, the 7th General Council of the Church met at Nicaea, in the very same church in which the first General Council had met in the year 325 AD. 300 bishops were there for the first meeting. The council opened with an address by Tarasius, then the letter of the empress was read, followed by that of the Pope. The council passed a resolution that any bishop who did not renounce the meeting of Hieria in the year 753 AD should not sit in the assembly. For a week, the council studied the theological view of the question of the veneration of images and prayers to the saints. Finally, all agreed that it was fit to honor images and relics of saints and found it helpful to pray and seek the intercession of the saints. Then a formula of faith in this matter was drawn, and the whole council accepted this: Latria to God, Hypadulia to Mary as the Mother of God, and Dulia to saints. For the next few days, the council enacted 22 canons on disciplinary matters. The council came to a close in the month of November in the year 787 AD.